The last month shifted the rhythm of our lives forever, and while the world outside kept spinning at its usual chaotic pace, life began to slow down for us. The weeks leading up to his arrival felt like the final chapter of a book we weren't sure we were ready to close, but we couldn't help but wanting to peek at the ending. We tried to soak up every last bit of summer, lingering dinners that turned into 3-hour conversations about what the future might hold, putting our feet in the sand beside family, watching golden sunsets melt into the sea. We savored every simple, fleeting moment, just waiting for him to give us a sign that he was ready to meet us.
Okay, it is midnight on induction day. What are you doing, Dad?
You ready?
I'm ready.
Meanwhile, the Seventh Ray House carried on exactly as it was designed to. Our guests came and went, and our cleaners quietly moved through its doors, and the desert kept its steady pulse. We haven't been back since the end of September, and this is the longest she's ever been left on her own. And as the season shifted and our little business ran quietly in the background, something far greater took center stage. The arrival of our first child. We'll share more about that in a moment because there's a lot to unpack. But this is our reality now. Our once pristine living room has become ground zero for raising a child. Dishes pile up faster than we can handle. Coffee table books have been replaced with burp cloths and baby contrast cards. Our new couch has become the foundation of our sanity, the place where the morning blends into night and love holds everything together. Finn, our first baby with 4 legs, is confused, a little jealous, but always curious and wanting to help. Kristen is now the milk lady, and I've proudly taken the title of the poop man. Somehow, through the chaos and exhaustion, it feels like everything we've been waiting for over the last 4 years has finally arrived, and we wouldn't trade a single moment of it.
Okay, so if you can't tell by my hair and the way that I look, we are how many days into this?
18 days.
18 days into this, and Kristen is dressed. What are you wearing?
I was like, okay, I'm wearing pants.
At least you're wearing pants.
Usually I'm in my Freedom Mom shorts.
Yeah.
And a bra.
So it has been 3 days now of me being back to work, and
3 days.
how many days of this guy being here?
19.
19 days of this guy being here, and we're thriving. We're thriving, right?
Surviving.
Surviving. This morning, today, so far, we have both been peed on 3 times.
And he peed out of his diaper, onto his clothes. He spit up like 3 or 4 times. He's had 4 outfit changes. It's not even noon.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
I'm trying to work, and I'm downstairs, and I'm like, you can tell I look exhausted.
It's 11.
It's 11, and it feels like 5 p.m. We did get out to a coffee shop this morning. So I am downstairs working, and I like to come up and help whenever I know that she needs help, if she tells me she needs help. And she is up here literally feeding him, trying to get him to go down to nap, and changing his diaper. Like, literally, and then if she can go to the bathroom and make food for herself.
Which I've gone to the bathroom twice while holding him on my boob. New mom hack unlocked. If you have to go to the bathroom, just take them with you.
Finn is just in here rolling with the punches, and we're still alive, so that's all that matters, right? Oh yeah, we are doing some tummy time, and we are using these cards. What are they, Love Every cards?
Yeah. He seems to like them.
To help him with his vision and stuff like that. More a little bit later. I gotta get back to work.
Let's try this again. Check. He was born on a Friday morning in October at 3:30 a.m.
And his name?
Is Forrest.
His name is Forrest, with 2 R's.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, we went through so many names, and literally, and when we were in Mexico on our baby moon, we literally the entire time like debated what his name was gonna be. We had a different name. We met too many people with their kids that name, and we're like, we want something different. We want something that like no one's naming their kid right now.
And we also wanted something that felt like us and felt kind of poetic and just
like a classic American poetic name, especially with our like his middle name being Michael. Yeah, so he was born very early in the morning, in the middle of October, and it was not what we planned. And so it was very traumatic for the both of us. So I can't speak for Kristen, but I'll let her share what she wants to share about that whole experience.
Yeah. So we went past our due date. I was 40 weeks and like 5 days when our doctor planned an induction. So we tried everything we could, all the old wives' tales to try to...
Oh, you're right.
To do...
You got a foot massage?
Yeah, I got like a reflexology massage. We drank all the raspberry tea.
We tried very spicy ramen.
Yeah, the day before induction, we went to like a really spicy ramen place, and that was actually really good, but none of it worked.
And we did a ton of curb walking.
Yeah, a lot of curb walking.
She did curb walking.
A lot of curb walking, a lot of all the other things that they tell you to do before baby comes. And none of it worked. We had a false alarm because my contractions were like getting closer, and Michael was very worried, and he was like, we're going to the hospital.
It's our first time.
So we went to the hospital a week before we were induced, and they were like, you're 1 centimeter dilated. You can go home.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Not really. And then our doctor was worried about my age because I'm 36. My pregnancy was textbook. It was great. There was no issues. So I really should have followed my intuition with not getting induced. But that really just kind of took it over. Everything went awry once we went in.
Well, because originally our plan was to do everything naturally. Kristen and I did not want to do an epidural. Kristen and I did not want to do a bunch of medicine.
No.
And because we wanted to just see how far we could get. Because I believed in her, she believed in herself.
I believed in myself. I was doing hypnobirthing. I had my preferences. We were ready to go. Mentally prepared, ready to go. The one thing that was weird was that I couldn't imagine myself pushing him out. And I'm really good at visualizing. Maybe this is too much to tell you, but I couldn't see that part of my birth. And it scared me, and I never said that out loud. And I labored for 18 hours, nothing, no pain meds. During that time, I got to 7 centimeters dilated, but a few hours before they put an epidural port in. I did not do an epidural because they were concerned his heart rate was dipping. So they were like, just in case you have to go into an emergency C-section, they'll have to put you under completely if you don't do this. So we did that just in case. That was more painful over the hours of it just being in my back than the actual contractions, if I'm being honest.
The nurses were coming in saying, wait, this woman does not have any pain meds, because she was handling the contractions. I could see the nurses were like, no, these are real, she's in labor, she was 7 centimeters, and she was just sitting there breathing through them and being so good. I was like, we got this. There's no doubt in my mind that she was gonna be able to go all the way.
And then we labored for 18 hours, and he was kind of stuck at the 7 centimeters, in there. And they were concerned about him because, like I said, his heart rate was dipping. So within 20 minutes, we were told we were having to go get a C-section, and he was delivered, basically.
Yeah.
It was so fast and terrifying.
And it was 2 a.m.
And
when they told us, so we were half asleep, and she had been laboring all day. So we were just exhausted and dazed and
not expecting any of this,
Yeah. And at this point, I'm whatever we can do to make sure that she is safe and the baby is safe. We had to trust the doctors because they do this all day long. Obviously, it was not what we wanted to do, but he's here and he's safe.
And he was crying right away. I heard him crying, and I couldn't barely move, and Michael was worried about me. but he's 10 fingers, 10 toes, and he is just perfect.
Yeah.
And we are so grateful.
We're so grateful. We are choosing to look at the bright side now and be where we are, and he is here, and we are still here.
We're grateful, and we feel very blessed.
We're very blessed. So that is that update, right?
Yeah.
Anything else you think we missed?
Oh, Finn's doing well with him. He's a little jealous.
Kind
He's
of,
tried
yeah.
to mount him a couple times just to show dominance, I think.
And keeps trying to lick his head.
But he's basically just concerned about him. Like if he's crying, he's right at my feet. Like right at Michael's feet.
Yeah.
Like what's going on? Save the baby. What's happening? Like help him.
Yeah.
So he's been adjusting pretty decently. Such a good boy.
The baby is back to birth weight already. Kristen has been a champ breastfeeding all hours of the day. A lot of dirty diapers, but we are hanging in there. And if you guys have any other questions about what we went through, how we're doing, what we're using, that kind of thing, like it's been actually not bad at home. Like
No.
I think we've had everything. We've been prepared.
Yeah, we've had everything we needed except obviously like diapers. He's newborn size, and people always think maybe he'll come out bigger, or so we got like a bunch of diapers. They were a little too big, so we had to buy new diapers. And I was like, we should probably buy new clothes, but like he's doing fine.
Yeah, we got a ton of hand-me-downs from his cousins.
Yeah.
So we'll take it.
Yeah. People are like, oh, I have stuff for you. I'm like, we'll take it.
We'll take it all.
We'll take any hand-me-downs, please. It's been awesome.
Do you want to go get him?
Yeah, should I go get him?
Okay, so while Kristen is going to get him, let me fill you guys in on how the business is doing. So we have, like I said earlier, it has been the longest we have not been at the house. There have only been a handful of issues that we've run into. The piano bench broke. It was falling apart. I had repaired it a couple of times. It was the original one that came with the piano. I ordered a new one. My dad went and assembled it and put it out. The cowboy tub was clogged after one guest. That same trip, my dad being a hero that he was, because I believe it was like the same week that we had given birth, he went out there and he unclogged the cowboy tub for us. But other than that, like things have just been good. We're still fully stocked from all those goodies that we got, all the soda, the chips and everything we got for our guests. We haven't had to resupply those. That has been going great. We've been getting like literally all 5 stars, no complaints. The only thing is like, we haven't been able to keep up on, like, I know that there's that new 15% Airbnb thing that I haven't even had a chance to look into. So like, this is real life. Like, you have a business, you focus on it, something else takes your focus. Thankfully, it is going very well. It's running, it's still making money, and we have a lot of stuff planned. Taking a step back, I think, has given us a reshift in our focus of what's a priority moving into 2026. And there's a few things that we want to share with you guys. We are going to be focusing on a handful of renovations. There's some big things that we wanted to do. Right now, the things that we're going to focus on are only the things that are going to increase revenue and bookings at our property. Obviously, there's aesthetic things that we want to do. There's fun projects that we think would be fun to film for the channel. All that pales in comparison to something that we can do that will bring in more revenue for our short-term rental. Because right now, we could use the extra money. We want to grow our business. We want to get another house. We want to do all these things. And that doesn't work unless we have more revenue coming in. So that is something we're going to be doing. Another thing that I'm going to do a deep dive on with you all, because I just have it in my heart that I want to share it with you all because it's been so good for us. I work in social media. Like, that's literally what I do for my other job. And so what I want to do with you all is show you how to market your short-term rental, how we're going. I'm going to document and take you along the journey of how to market your short-term rental, Instagrams, how to like find inspiration, how to film it, how to edit it, how to run ads. Like, I'm gonna walk you guys through it while I'm learning how to do it as well. For us, the direct bookings have been a huge, huge bonus. And I'm like, dude, if we can double these direct bookings, if we can do more of that, we'll make more money. And so that is something that we are going to be working on moving into 2026. Yes, have not been out to the house, need to go out to the house. We're pretty booked the rest of this month through the weekends, so that's good. Going to try and make some time. Until then, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below, but we just wanted to give you this little life update. I don't know where Kristen went. Is he okay? So Finn, do you want to come here? Come here real quick. Come say hi to the camera. Come on. So thank you guys so much
for watching.
Yeah, this is just a little update. We'll be back hopefully next week with more exciting stuff. But until then, We just wanted to show you guys we are still alive and we are still here. So Finn is licking my fingers and he is probably looking for milk. So we're grateful for you all. Thank you for hanging around and watching our friends deal with their Airbnbs. And
Yeah, we'll be back maybe next week.
yeah, hopefully next week, pending on how this little guy is doing. So see you guys then.